So, you just finished watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Because it's only 6 episodes, which sucks. But instead of listening to those turkeys down at Disney and rewatching WandaVision, come on down to the Red Stool, where we'll be talking about character development, story arcs, and much more. I'll see you
Welcome
there.
back to the Red Stool. And it's Friday, so you know we're talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier because the last episode premiered today. One world, one people. And it was a limited series. I'm sad to see it end, but it ended on a high note. It left us with a lot of questions because, of course, with any series that they do, they're always building to the future. There's always something else. But, starting at the beginning, it's nice to actually see Sam in the Captain America suit. And, he still has his wings and, it's just color scheme changed up with the stars and stripes. Looks like he's got, the technology looks a little bit better. Seems to be a little bit more durable because he took some hits in this episode, but, he kept pushing. He was able to fly from out of water. I'm not sure how deep he was in the body of water, but he was able to, fly out of that. He was also hit with some concrete cylinders too on top of that. So, of course, it's from Wakanda though, so sturdy as can be. And more added upgrades. He actually has what looks to be 2 red wings now. So, they doubled down, on his little bird pet AI. So I wonder if it's going to be Red Wing 1, Red 2, or, RW1, RW2. However he may shorten that up. And, it seems like he has these, like, the new goggles. He can scan for footprints, and I'm pretty sure he can do a lot more with it. It's just, I really liked it, all the things he was able to do in combination with the shield and the wings. How, since he doesn't have the super strength or endurance of a super soldier, he's being just really creative with everything and how he's, all right, I can use Red Wing to distract you, then I can come on the other side, throw the shield. And of course, the shield is a bit stronger than his wings, so he's using that to like absorb bullet fire while he's still flying, and he even uses it to shield himself and the wings. He uses them both to shield himself and somebody else from falling debris too, which is nice. It's kind of, it's him adding his own uniqueness to the shield, which is really why I liked seeing him. Like, I'm really glad that he's the one who's taking up the Captain America mantle now. What I would like to see, though, I know, there's always the future. He may be even getting his own movie. Who knows? But I would like to see, I don't know, maybe if he could take the shield, throw it, but instead of catching it, he smacks it back with the wings to make it go faster or something like that. Be cool to see. Also, Sam, he gets a lot of crap for, he can't fight. He's not a good fighter, and we actually see a fight with him and someone who isn't a super soldier in Batrog, and he holds his own. He holds his own. He doesn't allow Batrog to take up too much of his time. But, he's able to send him back, land a couple of his own hits. He's developing, he's come a long way since that building fight with Crossbones. So, just another thing that, they're showing his development as well and how far he's come. It's only been 6 episodes, but he already had like a really solid base, just how he's understanding in all of his ideologies. He's able to talk to people, and he's able to kind of find that middle ground. That's a big thing, and especially since that's a big thing in today's day and age of just everybody, we may be different, but there's a middle ground for all of us. And I like how, when he was giving his big Captain America's, I'm Captain America speech, and how he was saying how they could solve their issues, how he kind of like for a second, the way it's edited, it's nice. It seems as though he could be talking to you, like through the TV, like you're there watching he's speaking to you, because, of course, he's somewhat condemning the GRC just because, he's like, hey, like you said, you have this very complex problem of people who have been dislocated from, their homes, and now they came back, and then it's someone else's home. It's a lot, and this is a very complex solution. So, of course, your solution shouldn't be, just force everybody to go back to where they came from, get the military. it can't just, you can't hit a problem like that with a hammer. Your solution needs to be just as complex as the problem. So, of course, taking that in, he's trying to get everyone in the world to take that into consideration. And, I wouldn't be surprised if Flag Smashers, they still do have factions out there. It's not over just because Carly's dead, just because, Baron Zemo was able to kill the rest of her super soldiers. We still understand that there are still people who support the Flag Smashers in high places. It mirrors Hydra in a way. So I'm pretty, that's a big callback for everybody, but how it's just, the whispering of the one world, one people. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot more people out there that are whispering that phrase to each other that are still ready to take up, what Carly did. Because as she said, it doesn't matter if we die. She set up the movement to where it can't be stopped. She was just the triggering point. Now it's going to keep on going. People aren't going to accept the ideals, and they see that they can fight against the status quo and win. So and of course, if some little girl, if some teenage girl can do it, then why couldn't you? So of course, that even in her death, she's able to give that, steam to her movement. So you just see that there. But I feel like Sam could, instead of just crushing them like most people want to do, he could usurp their movement. And instead of using it as, a bloody hand a bloody hand across a flag, it's just using that to call people to unite for a good cause. Yeah, you're right. One world, one people. And we all need to unite to have, we all need to unite for one good cause. We're all back. We all, many people lost 5 years of their lives, and now we're all coming back. We all need to come back together as one world. So, that's, personally, that's how I think he would go about just dealing with the rest of the Flag Smasher organization in the future, especially since they don't have a leader right now. And we know that Carly, she respected Sam at least. So also, it's funny, we got our good old buddy John. He popped back up this episode because, of course, we knew he would. And I did not expect this man to come with his own Kirkland brand of Captain America's shield. Like, I wanted back. The minute I saw him with it, I was like, where did he get that from? Did he make that in like his garage, or like what did he do? And like Val, you couldn't have set him up with something, because him out there with his little shield. You're a super soldier. Just lean on that. It's enough. But, of course, he has his little shield. And when he was getting beat on with it and how he was throwing it and it wasn't coming back, it was all kind of just funny to me. It's like, that trademark Marvel, they're able to mix in the comedy with the action, because I'm pretty sure all you guys were laughing at him too. And I'm like, what is he doing? But he surprised me when he actually made the right decision. When he prioritized human life and he saved he was able to save the truck from falling off the cliff, but he let her run off. But it was the right decision to make. He saved her, and he's somewhat probably redeeming his public image. Now, I'm pretty sure they're probably not going to reinstate him or give him any of his money back, which is sad, because we just watched the U.S. government basically chew him up and spit him out. Now, not to say, no, does he deserve to be Captain America in any shape, way, sense, or form? Absolutely not. No. But, also what they did to him, it was harsh. Yes, he killed the Flag Smasher in a public square around a bunch of people, but that guy was a part of a terrorist group, and they did kill his friend, but, two rights don't make a wrong. And now he's still paying for that. And I feel like that's probably going to be a big central thing in his story going forward with him and Val, or the Countess. But I feel like she sees that now. They just left him to his own devices, and maybe I have to assume that they don't know that he's a super soldier, that she just does because she's an intelligence agent. But they don't know, because why would you just leave a super soldier to his own devices with no money and no future prospects after you basically just shamed him? So that has to be somewhat of a secret. And of course, he turns into USA agent at the end of, the series. I still feel like he's a Cap ripoff. Like, I don't like, oh, we'll make his suit black. But I suppose it could have been worse. They could have did something very disrespectful, like giving him Captain America's his shield suit. That I'd be like, all right, no, I would have had problems with that. But I guess you can't choose them all. So of course he's gonna be involved in basically the Countess's pawn, because he has nothing else going for him. So that's where he's gonna lead, and of course he's super excited to be back. And we also get closure for Bucky, and it's needed. It's a little rushed. Of course they only have the 6 episodes. There's not a lot of time. There was a lot of action in this episode, but he's able to tell his friend, hey, it was me. It was, I killed your son. It was a Winter Soldier. I didn't want to do it, but I was programmed to do it. So he has that moment, and we don't really see him interact with his friend again. Like, we see his friend at the bar, like he's still living his life. He's had a smile on his face. So I guess it gave Bucky closure as well. Like, it gave both, they're both able to, his friend is no longer suffering, wondering about his missing son, and now he's crossed all the names out of his book. He's able to move on and have a life, because of course, he unlike Steve, he didn't acclimate to the world too well, because of course he still had all that other Winter Soldier programming stuff in his head that he has to live with. But it's nice to see him be around Sam's family, laughing, enjoying, low-key flirting with Sam's sister, even though Sam told him not to. Still funny, though. But I still ship him and Ayo from Wakanda, because I think they would make I don't know, I like their chemistry together when they, were talking, and the brief scenes that they did have with each other, and how, he looked genuinely hurt when she disarmed him, and how, she's bassed, damn you, Barnes, because she was actually hurt that he would protect Zemo. But, I would, if we're going to do that, if Marvel's going to go that route of him having a love interest, I would hope it would be that way. But it's good to see him resolve everything as well. It's just, one of the things that doesn't just sit too right with me is just how Baron Zemo is just still able to operate out of prison. Even though, we know, yeah, he's in jail, but what he did to King T'Chaka, no one, I feel like that's not a big enough story to how it's okay, yeah, he was upset with the Avengers and basically killed the King of Wakanda as a starting point to get what he wanted. So, how he talks his high and mighty spiel about super soldiers and how they think they're, you'll be a godlike being and things like that, that mentality. He has that mentality too. The same reason he killed an innocent man and framing another guy for it that suffered, against his will for so long in his life, because he was a super soldier, not because he had some crazy idealistic visions about what the world should be. So, Baron Zemo, he's just a by any means necessary type of person. I get it. He lost his family. That's a lot of grief. But that's all the other people who've lost their families because of him. King T'Chaka, him manipulating Bucky and almost destroying their family. Look at the Avengers as a family. So him saying it's just a means to an end and having that type of mindset as he operates definitely just doesn't sit well with me, and I feel like that makes him a worse villain. So he definitely shouldn't just be able to sit in his little cell in the raft and ride away. He should be in Wakanda getting whatever he deserved. But, I guess end of rant. But getting to, the elephant in the room, the Agent Carter, her actually being the power broker, and how she's been pulling strings from the shadows this entire time. Now, I'm not surprised at her villain turn, just because, when she was talking to Carly, I got a lot of it. When we saw her and she had the interaction with Sam, how it's like, hey, I'm just left behind. You got to go back home, and, I'm sorry you have all these selling your boat problems, but at least you have a home to go to, and you're not being hunted, and you're not a criminal. Like, my family, we've done nothing but serve the government, and I did what was right, giving, you and Cap your equipment so you guys could go fight and do what was right. That was the right thing to do, and I was then punished for doing the right thing. So of course, that would turn her. Why wouldn't that turn her against governments or systems, especially when look at how well off she is being a major player in the underground. So now she's probably seen the underbelly of everything and been like, okay, well, this is how easily you guys are manipulated. And I used to be one of those people that are fighting for this, fighting for these systems and doing the government's bidding, but no more. And it seems like she's put herself in the ultimate middleman position where she just peddles in, okay, I'll sell you these illegal weapons, I'll sell you this information. So now, how much power does she have doing something like that? Towards though she can manipulate governments and even the world from the shadows, and nobody knows it's her because, of course, Batroc, he's dead, and she also killed Carly, so she pretty much covered her tracks. And there's probably going to be some big reveal where she betrays Sam. And I'm not gonna lie, in this instance, this is one of the I feel like maybe one of the only instances in the MCU where Captain America, Steve Rogers made the wrong decision, and that was to abandon Sharon, to her own, or not go back for her. He should have went back for her, and he should have made sure that she was okay. Because if he did, then they wouldn't be in this mess right now. She would be in the same position that Sam was. Like, okay, we were on the run, but now we're able to all return home together, and she wouldn't have just been left to do whatever do what she saw that she had to do to survive. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be a big reveal and conflict between Sam and her, and of course Sam's probably going to feel really hurt and betrayed, but also I feel like there might be a overarching conflict of potentially them fighting for the remnants of the Flag Smasher organization. Sam trying to turn these people around and get them to stop and do good in the world, and her trying to manipulate them and use them to cause more chaos throughout the world, because that benefits her, because the more chaos there is in the world, the more weapons and secrets and probably things that she can steal. Because if this government's worried about fighting this government, it leaves her a lot of room to, okay, I can steal from you and I can do this. And no one's really looking for her because she's not on their scale. But also, since she's not on their scale, she has a lot more freedom and room to move around. So, she'll be able to slip under the cracks just because she's not some big organization. And it's I like it. It's a smart portrayal of a villain. And it just, so, okay, how someone can have power without being a super soldier or from a different planet. And, I'm looking forward to that, that imminent fight between Captain America, maybe USA Agent, and Agent Carter, just maybe, all squaring off together. Just because I'm really once again, I'm really liking Sam, everything that he's doing with the suit. Plus, how he's able to stop that punch from Carly. He plants the wings into the ground, and then he blocks it with the shield. It's nice. And I want to see, what the Wakandan tech's going to be like when it's pushed to its upper limits. The only other issue I can see with him having is, his whole tech support thing. Because if they were having issues with the Stark tech, I'm pretty sure they're going to have a lot more issues with the Wakandan tech. They're going to be like, oh, man. It's nice to see the Wakandan, they're actually supporting, helping support the world, because I'm pretty sure there's there's vibranium traces throughout his suit and whatnot. So they're actually, sticking true to their word and helping, not being such an isolated nation. So great episode, great series. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. But before I go, if you're liking the intro, follow me on TikTok at ThatBoyBestBoy. I'm going to see y'all later. Peace.